Another video in our channel. In our video today, we are going to do an in-depth tactical analysis of the Chelsea 1-1 draw against Liverpool at Stamford Bridge. We're going to analyze how both Pochettino and Klopp set out their teams in this game. Stay with us as we do an in-depth analysis of both teams. Pochettino welcomed Klopp in at Stamford Bridge as he made his debut as Chelsea manager. Let's look at Chelsea's lineup for this game. So Chelsea lined up in a 3-5-2, which shifted into a more of like a 3-2-4-1, with Chelsea shifting to a back four during the second half. Chelsea had problems during the first 15 minutes. In defense, Chelsea played with a 4-4-2, with Chilwell playing as a left-sided midfielder, with Jackson and Kane playing high up the pitch. Liverpool, on the other hand, lined up in their usual 4-3-3 formation. This formation shifted into a 3-5 with possession, with Trent Alexander-Arnold inverting in midfield to play alongside Alex McAllister, while Robertson tucked in to make Liverpool a back three system. Without the ball, Liverpool played in a narrow 4-3-3 formation, with both midfielders dropping alongside Alex McAllister. Now we are going to see how both teams were set up on the pitch. Before we start our analysis today, I'd like you to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. So this is how both teams were set up. In the beginning, when the game started, Liverpool were aggressive in pressing Chelsea high up the pitch. Liverpool impacted a more narrow positional press where Jota would sit on Conor Gallagher, who played as a deep pivot, while Salah and Diaz will pick up the wide centre backs. Therefore, Chelsea had a problem leaving their first phase of play. Therefore, Sanchez was launching long balls to Chilwell and Reece James, who are wide in spaces. But Trent Alexander-Arnold played in this pseudo position, whereby he could be able to pick both Chilwell and Levi Colwill, while Konate was excellent in winning aerial duels against Chilwell. Therefore, during this phase, Konate's excellent reading of the game and winning of the ball prevented Chelsea from progressing down any form of channel, therefore making Liverpool more dominant during the first 20 minutes of the match. You can see how Konate is excellent at winning these duels against Chilwell. Since Trent had pushed forward, Liverpool shifted in a back three in the aggressive high press. So when Liverpool had possession in these phases, they set themselves up in a 3-5 system, whereby Trent picked up this inverted position where he would be able to receive the ball directly from Konate, who was acting as a wide centre back, with Robertson acting as the other wide centre back. From this clip here, you can see the position of Trent deep. So Liverpool tried to manipulate Chelsea's left hand side by the overload between Dominic and Mohamed Salah. Trent Alexander-Arnold would also push to create a 3v2 against Chilwell and Colwill. This left Chilwell in no man's land as Salah and Dominic created tons of overload against Levi Colwill, with Salah being quite great against Colwill during the first 20 minutes of the match. And Chelsea were not quite good at stopping this, and actually this is what led to the first goal. Trent Alexander-Arnold played in Salah, who played a swift ball for Diaz, who scored the goal for Liverpool. Therefore, Chelsea had to adapt their strategy, since Liverpool's front three were constantly pressing Chelsea's centre-back and limiting their progression. So Chilwell decided to play as a left-sided midfielder in a midfield four to pick Dominic. But again, this created all sorts of issues since Dominic tried to make half-space runs with Salah playing and starting quite wide. This position of Trent was causing Chelsea problems during the first 20 minutes of the match. Therefore, Chelsea had to devise a strategy, and actually this is a simple pass that made Mohamed Salah to be through on goal and score, but the goal was disallowed for offside because Trent's inner position together with Dominic and Salah were causing havoc against Colwill and Chilwell during the first 20 minutes of the match. After the first 20 minutes of the match, Pochettino decided to move into a pseudo back four system. This pseudo back four system was where Colwill was now tasked to play as a left back. Kane Chukwuemeka and Enzo Fernandez pushed up and occupied the half spaces, while Colwill and Disasi played quite wide of Thiago Silva, enabling the Liverpool's front three from pressing them. Gallagher in this position in the first 20 minutes was not quite great and therefore was easily dispossessed, with Liverpool launching immediate counter-attacks. This is one dangerous situation in which Liverpool almost caught Chelsea out since Gallagher lost the ball. Now, Chelsea had to come up with a different strategy to be able to bypass this Liverpool's narrow midfield line. So this is what Chelsea decided to do. So when Thiago Silva was on the ball, Enzo Fernandez started to drop deep alongside Gallagher to be receiving the ball directly from the centre-backs and enabling Chelsea to build their play effectively. But Liverpool continued with the aggressive high press by pushing their two midfielders against Gallagher and Enzo Fernandez. This created spaces in the wide areas, especially down the right, where Sterling will be occupying this empty space in between the half space, while Reece James will be pushing quite high, creating a 2v1 situation against Andrew Robertson, whether he's supposed to pick in Sterling or Reece James. At the end, Robertson decided to start quite narrow, and therefore Reece James constantly received the ball down the wide areas. With Chelsea playing with wide centre-backs, Liverpool's front three were not able to cover them. So Reece James used to receive this ball in this position with a lot of space and time, linking up with Sterling, who constantly made half-space runs, and Enzo Fernandez, who pushed forward and occupied the space left by Sterling, and this enabled Enzo to play a lot of through balls in the final third and also make a lot of shifts of play and picking out Reece James and Sterling. This is why Enzo thrived a lot during that game, because he was able to pick these pockets of space. Reece James was able to get slipped and attempt a cross. He attempted a fabulous cross in which Nicholas Jackson ought to have finished that chance. Unfortunately, he did not manage to score. That will be an opening goal for Chelsea. Now, this right-hand overload was great for Chelsea, especially the link-up between Sterling and Reece James. Therefore, Chelsea also Jurgen Klopp adapted his strategy by telling Luis Diaz to drop deep and pick up Reece James to nullify this right-sided overload created by Chelsea. But this again opened up spaces for Chelsea to pick the game. Now Conor Gallagher was free to receive the ball since Dominic and McAllister were picking up Kane and Enzo Fernandez, who were playing behind their defensive line. This system and situation enabled Enzo Fernandez to be picking the ball in between the lines and playing the runs of Chilwell. He made one great pass in this game where Chilwell should have just taken a shot directly and scored a goal. The position of Enzo Fernandez was key to this system. Chelsea also exploited that Salah did not track back down the left-hand side and therefore changed their system to now attack down the left-hand flank, where Chilwell and Kane would be creating a 2v1 overload against Trent Alexander-Arnold. Colwill will be receiving the ball down as a right left-sided centre-back and play lofted balls for the runs of Chilwell. This made Liverpool's defense get dragged over the right hand side, where Konate would attempt to stop Chilwell in these positions. In some cases, Konate was great, but this also created spaces for Chelsea to receive the ball and build their play, and this created a lot of issues for Liverpool. This is why Liverpool were unable to leave their half of the game, since Chelsea always had overloads against their fullbacks, and this created problems for Liverpool. Therefore, Liverpool had no choice but to sit back and contain Chelsea. Chelsea also formed a diamond in midfield, with Enzo actually playing as a number 10 in the later stages of the game, with Raheem Sterling and Kane playing alongside him. Reece James and Chilwell were actually high up the pitch, giving Chelsea width. This enabled Chelsea to have as many as 6 players during attack. Now, Chelsea without the ball shifted in a 4-4-1 system, with Jackson being tasked to press Liverpool. But this pressing strategy is what led to the first goal, since when Alisson received the ball, the position of Dominic created tactical problems for Chilwell, and therefore when Salah received this ball and Gakpo had pushed forward and played as a number 9 alongside Jota, Salah was able to receive this ball and thread a clean ball for the hands of Luis Diaz, who was able to finish up the chance. Chelsea had better chances in this game, but Chelsea were not able to capitalize. Liverpool, on the other hand, showed why they needed a defensive midfielder in their team. This was an excellent tactical matchup between two teams who dearly needed a defensive midfielder. We could see how Chelsea, if Caicedo was in the position where Gallagher was, Chelsea maybe would have thrived and Enzo Fernandez would have been more free to push forward and create that overload against Liverpool. Liverpool also played quite well during the first 20 minutes, but they need to improve a lot, especially how they underwhelmingly performed in the second half of the game. That is our tactical analysis of this game. If you've not subscribed to this channel, subscribe and stay with us. Thanks for watching.